welcome. You're watching FYI. I'm Rishika Barua. Meat production, many experts say, is harmful for the planet, and therefore there is a call now for a global shift in agricultural practices. Studies have linked meat production to climate change because slaughtering of animals produces methane. It's also been linked to antibiotic resistance in humans because remember, antibiotics are fed to farm animals that eventually enter our body and are making us resistant to several antibiotics. Convincing the world, however, to eat less meat doesn't work. Per capita meat consumption has only increased over a period of the last few years. There is a need, therefore, to produce meat that people love. Experts say that lab-grown meat or plant-based meat is indeed the future. Now, Singapore has interestingly become the very first country in the world to approve lab-grown meat. We tell you everything you need to know. So the big question really is, what is lab-grown meat? Here's the operative part. It is cultured meat that is produced in a bioreactor, most significantly without the slaughter of any animals. So that is what is meat. How is it really produced? Well, the animal stem cells are essentially used to create the meat. A sample of the cell is taken to grow this meat in a lab. Where is it being currently used? That's interesting. Chicken cells that are grown in bioreactors have so far only been approved for sale in Singapore. Singapore is the only country where lab-grown meat is actually out on sale. You can go to a restaurant or even buy it from a market. How is lab-grown meat actually made? This is the other big question. Well, let me break it down in phases. Phase 1 is extraction of cells from the animal. So this is the first phase. A simple surgical procedure is done, after which the cell is extracted. The animal goes on to make a full recovery. The muscle cells are then multiplied. So it's extracted in the first phase, multiplied in the second phase by feeding them essentially amino acids component 1 and carbohydrates component 2. All of this happening in a lab. Now once the muscle fiber starts growing, the result is essentially lab grown meat. In phase 3, there is a tissue change induction, a process called tissue change induction which takes place in which you begin to grow different types of cells like fat and muscle for the meat. Moving on, what is the difference between plant-based meat and lab-grown meat? No, it isn't the same thing. Lab-grown meat, like I just explained to you, is made from the painless extraction of animal cells. This is important here, especially if you're a vegetarian, to note that this is still made from the extraction of animal cells as opposed to plant-based meat, which is made from plant sources such as soya or pea protein. And plant-based meat is something which is already being made here in India and is available in our markets. Well, what do experts say about lab-grown meat being environment friendly? We'll talk more about this, but they do say that it reduces carbon emission, it uses less amount of land and water, and also causes less pollution. An interesting aspect which we'll delve into is the fact that it may even use less antibiotics. Remember, farm animals are injected with a lot of antibiotics, which by virtue of non-vegetarians eating this meat goes into their body, which is causing antibiotic resistance. We'll talk about that in just a bit. Well, all of the stakeholders who are actually involved in lab-grown meat production or development here in India join us on FYI to answer your questions. Dr. Rakesh Mishra, the Director of Center for Cellular and Microbiology, CCMB Hyderabad, is with us. They are instrumental in developing laboratory-grown meat here in India, carrying out experiments for the last 2 years. Dr. Suparna Ghosh Jarat, Professor and Head of Community Nutrition, PHFI, to talk about how healthy and whether this is an option that the doctors and experts recommend. We have Siddharth Manvati, the CEO and founder of Clear Meat. They are developing harmless meat solutions here in India. We also have Alokparna Sen Gupta, Managing Director of the Humane Society, which has collaborated with CCMB to develop and promote lab-grown meat here in India. Thank you all very much for sparing your valuable time and being with us on FYI. Dr. Mishra, I want to begin by asking you, lab-grown meat, can you break it down, simplify it for our viewers? What exactly is it, and how far have you reached in your experimentation as far as lab-grown meat being produced in India is concerned?
So lab grown meat essentially means that you take a cell from the animal of your choice. It can be a bird, it can be a goat, whatever animal. And then, so generally it's done as a little biopsy in which we take some cells from the muscle and bring them in the lab and search for what we call as stem cells or muscle stem cells in that tissue, which they are there all the time. That's how when we are injured, we recover and we do healing. So these are the cells that get activated. And these stem cells, then we train them in the lab to grow for a long time so that their large numbers are produced. And then we induce them to make muscle fibers. And once those fibers are out, so basically you have now muscle in the lab grown. So this is essentially in very simplified version of lab grown meat. You do in a large quantity, you can grow in grams and kilograms, and hopefully one day in hundreds of kilograms amount. What we have done in CCMB is in collaboration with the National Meat Research Institute in Hyderabad. It's an ICR institute, and they have expertise in goat and various varieties and so on. And this is a project funded by Department of Biotechnology, Government of India, in which we have taken from the young lamb little bit of cells, brought them in the lab, and since we are going in the first time, so we needed some standardization. We are more used to using mouse as a system for our experiments. So we transformed that technology and isolated the stem cells from these animals. So that's a key achievement, we will say. And then we were able to induce them into forming muscles of very long muscle fibers from our standards. So we have all the technology to convert a biopsy sample into muscle in the lab now. Now, there are two objectives that we have to now also achieve before we go beyond lab. One is to make this cost less. At the moment, it is very, very expensive. And the expensive chemicals or components that are needed, they can be made in cheaper way. So that we are doing, we can say that we have maybe 50% or more success in that.
We'll come to the price point in just a bit, but I want to understand Siddharth Manvati as somebody who is in the industry. What is the price point that we're looking at, and how far is India from actually marketing and putting out lab grown meat in our stores?
To be very optimistic about the approach, I think India is somewhere in the middle path, and it should take somewhere around 2 to 5 years maximum for the product to be on shelf for people to try out.
2 to 5 years.
And 2 to 5 years to be frank. The reason being these are two different parameters. One rightly pointed out by Dr. Rakesh Mishra sir, that one is the price parity and the other is the component itself. And when you talk about us as Clear Meat, what we are trying to do is we are trying to find out a middle path to resolve this particular solution. And to answer that, one is growing cells in a format with a technology that can be multiplied, industrialized basically, and parallelly working out strategies that can be used to bring down the cost.
Alok Parna, the other big question really is, why is it so far that, despite many of the benefits that many experts feel that lab grown meat has, and the fact that it could be a potential game changer even as far as the environment is concerned, why is it that there's only one country in the world, which is Singapore, that has so far approved lab grown chicken nuggets, and it hasn't been approved anywhere else in the world?
You have to understand that it was only in 2013 that the first cultivated meat company came in and brought out and tested their beef burger, which was created at the labs. But since then, it's been about 8 years, and there are more than 55 companies who are working on cell-based meat or cultivated meat. So it's definitely grown exponentially. And in fact, in the first quarter of 2020 itself, a Good Food Institute India report, report says that $189 million were invested. So investment is necessary, and I think that will encourage scientists to come up to work on it faster, and of course startups like Clear Meat will be able to then grow it faster and work on it faster. So investment is definitely necessary, but it's exponentially grown for sure. To hear Siddharth say 2 to 5 years is amazing.
So considering that this journey started, you're saying in 2013, and there are now over 55 countries that are working, there is a lot of progress that's been made. But Dr. Suparna, I think it's very important to have you on the show, because after understanding the nuances of what lab-grown meat or cultivated meat is, the only question that really remains is it safe?
Well, you are speaking my language now, because I feel safety and regulation, these are the primary concerns for a public health nutritionist like me. And if you say this is a lab-grown meat, it is a processed meat. It's an ultra-processed product. If you look at the recommendations all around the world, we are trying to move towards natural foods, but yes, sustainable sources of natural foods. If you're talking about lab-grown meat, we understand that the cells are dividing. But if the cells are dividing, and if we are trying to produce immortal cells, and I know the other speakers will be able to give us better insight about the methodology. But if it is so, then if the cells are unregulated, if there is some kind of a dysregulation happening with these cells, will it be injurious to the human health? So I think there is a lot of scrutiny which is required before we give a clean chit to this clean meat. Because number one is the safety. What are we adding? If we are adding, developing a culture for the lab, we are using fetal bovine serum. Are we using the same thing for the lab meat? If so, we are actually working on something like working or playing around with the cultural beliefs and practices of the community of people. So those are the points. And ethically speaking, if we are talking about a public health nutritionist, we are talking about safety. Safety and nutritional health. If nutritional health is compromised by consuming too much of red meats, then it remains same whether it's cultured meat or the meat coming from animal. People should not think that since it's lab grown, it's having higher, lower environmental footprint, it's all safe for me. We as Indians, we are not consuming that humongous amount of meat which our Western counterparts are doing. So here I have a concern about an ultra-processed food, which if pushed to people telling that it's safe, might have other repercussions related to the
Well, I think that's a very important perspective, Dr. Suparna, that you've actually lent, because even if lab-grown meat is tested and potentially safe, the ill effects of eating meat per se, or especially red meat, don't necessarily get nullified. It may be better for the environment, but still not maybe so good for you to consume, or at least consume in large quantities. Dr. Mishra, the other very commonly asked question, is it genetically modified? There's an entire lobby that's against GMO, genetically modified foods. Does this fall into that category?
No. This is not genetically modified. In fact, you don't modify the cells. You just grow them as they grow in the body. You can genetically modify anything. And if you want to add, let's say, goat meat, and you want to add a flavor of chicken, you can probably engineer cells. They will do that. But those are not the thing that we are doing. So normally, I mean, a whole meat industry. So it's not at all genetically modified. And just to comment on the previous comment that these cells are dividing in the beginning, but when they are converted into muscle fibers, they stop dividing.
Right.
And there's certainly no issue about that. And when you eat, it gets digested proteins. They are not anymore living cells. So they is very, very safe. Of course, anything you eat beyond a point, it is a problem. But as far as the safety is concerned, remember, we are eating every day some medicines, some drug, they are largely produced in these kind of ways.
True.
So they are pretty safe. So of course, quantity and other things you have to take care. Yeah.
Well, on the other side, we're going to slip into a very short break, but on the other side, we'll talk about plant-based meat. What is plant-based meat? Is it the same as lab-grown meat? We'll answer all those questions on the other side of a short break. Stay with us. Welcome back. So what is the difference between lab-grown meat and plant-based meat? Which is better? And plant-based meat, interestingly, Siddharth, is already available here in India. What more can you tell our viewers?
There's a huge difference between both these parameters, and I thank you for bringing that up, because it's a huge challenge for us to make the community realize the two different products. Plant-based, as you rightly pointed, they are grown from either soya or pea protein, and lab-grown are actually grown from using animal cells. And in that case, India, frankly, and on an optimistic approach, India is a way ahead with respect to the product types on plant-based protein panel. And lab-grown is also trying its best to cope up with the race.
Right. Alok Parna, the very last aspect that I want to touch upon is, of course, the larger aspect of lab-grown meat or plant meat, for instance, being more environment friendly. Can you summarize this for our viewers? What really is the advantage? Why are we having this conversation today?
Raising animals takes a lot of environmental resources. So the animal agriculture industry contributes to about 14 to 16.5% of greenhouse gas emissions, and that is almost equal to the transportation sector. So with plant-based and with cell-based industry, the sector coming forward, the use of land, use of water resources, all these things will drastically reduce. And what is estimated is that cell-based meat or cultivated meat, and like you're saying, lab-grown meat, might even contribute 96% less land use and water use, than animal agriculture. So these are all estimations because this has not been scaled up, but that is a huge.
So lab-grown meat or plant-based meat definitely is a cleaner and greener option. It's been a fascinating conversation. Thank you all very much for sparing your time and talking about this. India is still a couple of years away, but we'll keep a close watch on what's happening in this particular space. Thanks so much for watching FYI.